One moment. We're live, Chair.
Good morning, everybody. Today's meeting is being filmed for live and subsequent broadcast by the way the Council's internet site. The images and sound recordings may also be used for training purposes within the Council. Members dialing in remotely, please only turn on your cams when you wish to speak, and please remember to switch it off when you have finished. Also, could you ensure that you refrain from using any mobile devices during the committee and that any devices that you have are on silent? Thank you. Okay, do we have any apologies for absence?
Councillor Spencer.
Thank you, Councillor Spencer. And then any declarations of interest this morning? No. Okay, so the minutes now of the meeting held on the 13th of December, which are on pages 3 to 8. So we'll start with page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7.
On page 7, on the top of that, Councillor Spencer, Mr.
That's Councillor Sterry. We do have a Councillor Sterry on this committee.
We've got
You don't send the fire system.
Councillor Slarry is.
Oh, he's online, is he? And page 8 is blank. So are there any matters arising from those minutes? And could we ask them to pass them as a true record, please? Thank you. I'll second it. Councillor Thomas and Councillor. Okay, so the next one is item number 4, which is the participation strategy for ward meetings, which is on pages 9 to 22. You will recall that we had quite a robust discussion on this at the last meeting, and that we asked the officers to come back with some amended proposals. We'll now go through those with the officer. Could I also draw your attention to the important email that we had from Councillor Ionawr? So Councillor Ionawr is a long-standing member of this council with great experience, and he's given his thoughts about the proposals and what he would like to see as well. If people would like a moment to read Councillor Ionawr's email, I'm happy to do that.
First thing this morning.
Do you want a moment to read his email?
I haven't got 50 device with me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to find it.
Yeah, I'm very to read it, more important than anything else.
Could I just say, he just endorsed the conclusions we came to last.
Okay.
I don't
Yes, I did discuss it with you.
Do the others have it online?
Yes, we sent through via email.
Probably sent it this morning, guys.
So if I talk through the key points then, as Chair said, this paper or a version of this paper proposal was considered December last year. So as we recall, a lot of work was done through the committee last year in developing a participation strategy required of the Local Government and Elections Wales Act. So the strategy is the council's commitment around engagement with our residents, about ensuring that they're informed on what we do, informed about decisions that we make, and also encouraged and actively sought their views as part of our decision-making processes. Board meetings are also a form of engagement. So one of the many ways that we engage with our residents currently, and we're seeking to build on that platform and improve going forward. So board meetings in the past were held in wards at the request of members. They were usually up to 3 a year if requested by members in each ward area, and they were supported by officers in some capacity. What the proposal sought to do before Christmas and now is to try and formalise some of the arrangements around that support and that framework, and also use that as a platform in recognition of the consultation that we did and the feedback we had from residents last year, and also in many of the scrutiny committees I sit in. So whilst there is a place for our digital engagement and our Wi-Fi surveys, which gain a wide demographic feedback for us, looking to improve on that and offer different ways of engagement and different ways of consultation, using face-to-face as a platform also. So feedback from the committee last year was around concerns around limiting the meetings to 2 meetings per year. It'd be fair to say there was also a concern of, whilst it was recognised that it is important to consult with our residents on the most important decisions we make, and arguably budget setting is the most important decision we make on an annual basis, the committee felt that it was really important for residents to have the opportunity to set part of that agenda and reflect the issues that are particular to that community and that they are particularly interested in. And I think the committee members also recognised that they wanted to have some support around engagement prior to those meetings to make sure that they are well publicised, people know that they're happening. And so I think the feedback was social media, having flyers and posters and supporting the advertisement of the ward meetings before they happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to consider the investment, obviously, of senior officers in this. If we had 2 meetings per year, obviously that's up to 42 ward meetings per year, and then an additional third would be on top of that. So I think looking at a balance, considering the committee's requirements is really important. And I think whilst we could retain that third meeting, what we could do is provide the support around securing the venues, the same ways that we would do for the other 2 meetings, and also helping to promote those meetings in the community. But those would not be supported by senior officers. So there could be 3 a year, but the first 2 would be ones that would be fully supported. The third would offer that administrative support in recognition of this is a platform that ward members feel strongly about, so that there is that additional opportunity for them to engage with their residents. Again, considering the agenda for those meetings, yes, certainly agree that there is a really important place for residents to be able to participate and have their own input to set those agendas. So again, perhaps it would be useful to retain the engagement on budget setting as part of the first meeting of the year. We do get good engagement and good feedback on the budget setting process, and this would augment it and offer that additional opportunity to have those conversations. But there would also be that opportunity. And I think, in reality, you're going out and having a ward meeting with residents, there's not really any way we could stop them, coming and talking about the things that were important to them. So that helping them to set their own agenda is a really important part of this. So yeah, to summarise, reflected on the feedback from the committee and really the commitment that we're making into the participation strategy, thinking what our residents have told us as part of that consultation, and proposing that going forward we would retain the 3 meetings per year, 2 fully supported, and then 1 which would have the promotional and venue booking support. And I think the other point that we've made as part of the report is the report, I think, was around whether particular issues that wards wanted to meet about, whether those could be considered on an ad hoc basis and going forward.
Just one question from me. Not all boards will want these meetings. Some will, some won't. So with regards to 2 meetings, what about the budget and what about the corporate plans and such for the council? If wards didn't want those meetings, that would be fine, they wouldn't have to have them?
Yeah, it would be at the ward members' request. We would go to them to.
That's fine.
Just the same question I want to ask David. Are they compulsory or voluntary?
Obviously.
Yeah, they would remain part of the ways that members can engage with the community. So there would be ward meetings, still have surgeries, still have email and casework, any other ways that.
So if you wanted a ward, we could just ask the ward, we can make a request instead of having to add 2 a year, compulsory. So
But no, you don't have to have them, but the 2 a year would be prescriptive on the budget and the other one on corporate plan and such.
They would have those as part of the
Yeah.
agenda, and then anything else that
But it doesn't need to be referred to.
No,
Does it?
no.
It can be a certain topic.
Yeah, and the third one, that's a matter for you. If you get an issue that, like, I don't know, an old green years ago, they wanted to put the cemetery on the Glasgow playing fields. We had uproar, people wanted a meeting, that's ideal for it.
Yeah, my only worry is the attendance, if they're going to be fully attended, would we stop them or, you know, not continue?
It's up to you, Alex, to be honest with you, in my experience, some wards get 40, 50 people turn out, other wards, nobody turns up.
Chair, could I clarify one point? Previously, all the councillors in the ward had to agree to a ward meeting. So for the wards where they're all Labour or all Conservative, it wasn't a problem. But I've got a split ward, and all three of us had to agree that we would have ward meetings. Two of us couldn't say, oh, we want a ward meeting, if the third one objected. So will that still be the case in the future?
I think we have to have a bit of common sense, but all movements, we have to work together. So if you know, for me, I'm in a split ward now. If Pat feels that he wants to have a meeting about the budget, that's fine, we'll have a meeting about the budget, not an issue. You know, the grown-ups, we can do that.
No, I'm thinking about other wards which didn't have ward meetings because they couldn't agree.
Yeah.
But maybe we should be going for some recognition of majority decision making on.
Well, some wards only have two councillors.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's possible.
I think we'll just leave it to the ward members to decide what they want to do and take it from there.
It works well enough in my ward where we always agreed, and it was 2-1 last time. It's 1-2 this time, if you understand what I'm saying. But it was a point of conjecture at one of the recent by-elections where one political party accused the other party of not having ward meetings. So you know, it can be difficult.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but we'll just take it from there. I think most of us will agree, you just get on with it, don't we?
Yeah.
Just usually.
I mean, if your residents ask for it, go by what they say.
Yeah.
They ask, that's why you order them is for the residents, and so they ask for a ward meeting.
Yeah. The only worry there is that where they have never been held, you know, where there hasn't been interest in these before, people may not realise that they have that option. So, but if we go back to the council again, if they are being advertised, you know, people then become aware that this is something that they can have their 10 benefit from. And, you know, I just wanted to say, we have been very aware that when we've held ward meetings, there's been a lot of interest in our partners coming along and presenting about something. And, you know, that might be the registered landlords, excuse me, in the area. Or it could, and it was always a point, the police always got a huge number of questions. So I think, you know, we should just to recognise that this is actually an opportunity for our stakeholders and our partners to have an input as well. I think and be held accountable too.
I think we need to have a discussion with the police about whether they've now got their own mechanism for having their own kind of meetings. And do we really want police officers logged down in one meeting who could be out on the beat doing something? But we need that's a discussion with the police.
I don't think you've got a different team to us. I mean, I know our team were interested because we've run this by them as well.
That's fine. If the police may well use it as a mechanism to hold their meetings, it's a
and you can't
budget statement with them as well, isn't it?
You can't drag people there keeping their sleeping.
Trevor?
On that one subject, I think that there should be a police officer present in those security meetings anyway, because of issues that have risen in the past with other MPs and other councillors. The other thing is the dates which you're looking at are one with the budget and LDP and possibly the review of the budget as after the 16th. Are those dates going to be fixed by the officers, or are they going to be fixed with consultation with the?
Right, I thought they've got to be within the time bounds, haven't they? So you can't go discussing the budget in July.
No.
You need to discuss it January, February.
Yeah, so budget opens with Cabinet in December, usually budget consultation, and it usually ends at the end of January. So there's about 6 weeks, and I think, you know, the Christmas period is actually January.
Or is it 6 weeks?
It's going to take some considerable time, I would say. Yeah.
Quite a lot of pressure on senior officers to get to those for that one meeting, for that July meeting, January meeting, which is so prescriptive.
Yeah, and I think you know, this has been considered how we would work that, and we'd have to make sure that there was representation of the senior officer at each meeting requested. We're trying to make sure that that is shared as a responsibility amongst the team.
And if we want to include something else on that agenda, we then could request that to put on the agenda.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of, timelines for the budget, and then something afterwards.
Yeah, whatever you want. You could even have a say to the residents, what do you want on this to be?
Well, the first one, would go along that.
Yeah, to that you just do what you want.
I think the board meetings requested outside the budget setting application time. It's probably a little bit more leeway in terms of time scale, so arrangements for that.
And would it only be the one outside those two which are fixed, or would there be opportunity for another?
I think to be clear, the third one wouldn't be officer supported.
It wouldn't be senior officer supported. We would help you to secure a book of venue, and we would help you with the promotion of that.
What I'm saying is, if an issue arises through the residents of that, would there be an opportunity to put an extra one in because of the time scale?
I don't see any issue with council officers being able to assist you with the booking of a fourth or a fifth meeting, but you can't expect the council officer to turn up.
No,
I think
I understand that.
that's a fair point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I would also say, you know, depends on the community venue as well, because, you know, there is some small budget for securing community venues. Some of them there are charges, some of them there aren't charges depending on what they are. So that would be a consideration as well.
And if there was such a pressing issue, it could, a meeting could be held up here, which is zero cost. And you could facilitate that, couldn't you?
So we can certainly look for alternatives, yeah, but that was an issue.
And what about online consultation? That particular.
I don't think it's possible to put in place this kind of system in all meeting areas. Some in your community councils, you have something there, some have it and you can use it. No doubt in Galway, when you're in the local community centre, they don't have this kind of setup, so people would have to turn up. It's better for people to turn up anyway, in my view.
Yeah,
We
must have fixes that and then get.
I think it's important to recognise a lot of engagement activity already takes place, which is reflected in the participation strategy, and there is a strong feedback mechanism that we already have through digital, through social media, through the Wi-Fi surveys. Absolutely, yes. It's trying to broaden that and reflect on feedback that we've had and try to open up other opportunities for residents.
Right. Do any of our colleagues who are online, Andrew or Emma, wish to participate?
Yes, please, Chair, if that's okay.
Of course.
It was just to say that I think as ward councillors, it's down to us to make sure that we are ensuring the meetings happen at the best time, which we all know for our wards, you know, looking at those issues coming down the line and deciding, right, what's going to be the hot potato, what's going to be the thing that people are going to want to talk about, and basing it around that. And then I do also think as well that as ward councillors, as well as the council promotes it, we also have a responsibility to make sure that we're sharing it, we're talking to people and we're telling people as much as we can as well to get those numbers there. There will be times, you know, last time I was in, we did one of these and we had about 250 people there because it was on a really contentious issue. And then there were other times where we sat in a room with 4 people and it was freezing, you know, it wasn't even worth putting the heating on kind of thing. So it is, I think there is, you know, working with our ward colleagues, a common sense piece around making sure they're timed right to hit the maximum amount of people and the things they want to talk about. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Emma. Andrew, do you have anything that you wish to add?
Yes, I'm fully supportive of the council supporting 2 ward meetings a year, as long as
camera on, Andrew.
I can't put the camera on because we're the location I'm in.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so what I was going to say was, as long as the council could advertise our additional 2 ward meetings we have, I've got no issues, no problems with it whatsoever.
Okay, thank you very much.
So to move progress.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Chair. It seems a reasonable compromise that we have 2 supported meetings by senior officers, and the 3rd meeting is supported by admin officers that contribute back to them, and other meetings are by negotiating. That was a reasonable way forward.
Are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's done and
Thank you.
done and dusted. Okay, so oh yes, the date of the next meeting now. So which is 20. So the date of the next meeting is planned for the 21st of February. I would like to see some kind of forward work plan, because in council on Tuesday there was some discussion around questions to the leader or questions of the deputy leader which need to be clarified and dealt with. Also, there was the proposal put forward about the time that the leader answers questions in council, whether 15 minutes is long enough or whether it should be extended for half an hour or whatever.
Yeah, I think when I went back to look at that one, that had already been considered and raised through council last year. So it was a decision that was taken quite close proximity.
I think that when a member asks for something to come to committee, you should at least have the manners to allow that member to put forward their case to the committee. Maybe a case that the committee doesn't agree, and then we move on. But if Councillor Steady wants to bring that forward, if there's sort of any issue, we'll bring that forward and we discuss it.
We've got a agreement with the debate, isn't it?
Yes,
That's not it. It's-
yeah, of course.
No.
That's not fair.
So,
But I remind you, Chair, though, that the constitution of the council has only just been amended to take on board the progress that was made during the last council cycle.
Yeah, but there's some anomalies now that have come up, and one of them was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, that needs to be addressed, that needs to be looked at.
Standing.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a point that we've got many new councillors on this and the current administration, and so they won't be aware of what was gone before. And I think this was prior to the last election, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was discussed previously
okay.
and robustly debated, and there are strong feelings on this one. But it was decided at that time to stay with the status quo, and that 15 minutes for the to answer the question.
Yeah, but I don't have any problem with Ms. Councillor Say bringing it here to discuss it if he wants to. We can take it from there.
You accept your ruling officership?
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
I thought for the next agenda, Chair, we could bring an update on member training, because the committee agreed with them last year.
Yeah, we
Perhaps
can.
we could bring an update on where we are and discuss what we
I
want.
I think personally on this agenda we could discuss a lot more. You know, this morning we could have taken on another 2 or 3 topics here quite easily because of time frame. You know, we've got so I think we need to have more on these agendas to discuss. It should be done with.
Yeah. As we've looked in the back, there's students officer time on there.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are. I mean, what we've done this morning, it's 20 minutes, and of course that flies in the face of people coming in here
Yeah.
just for 20 minutes. You know, whereas we could have had a
Because you're on Zoom.
4 or 5 topics and had a meeting of an hour or so and discussed a lot more and got through a lot more.
We've got a time.
10 a.m.
Chair, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
Right.
I was wondering as well whether at some point we could, this has been a bee in my bonnet for a little while actually, whether this is something for this committee to discuss, and that's voter ID and how as a city we will be supporting people. I didn't know whether that's one for this committee or another committee, but I just wondered whether we could bring that at some point if it was suitable.
I think it is for this committee. It's you know, this is democratic services. I think
Yeah.
nothing else. I think members would be grateful for a presentation on what voter ID means for us all.
That would be great if we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, yeah, great, why not? So there's-
Fabulous.
yeah, there's 3 topics there then. There's Andrew Sterry's, there's Emma's, and there's the one that we can be with the presiding officer, and the amendment to the possible amendment to standing orders that we discussed on Tuesday.
But firstly, clarification on the role of the standards committee, because they're the monitoring body for member training. So if there's a crossover there, we might need to ask for their involvement as well, even though it's an external committee, which you also be representatives.
Absolutely, and I think maybe ever so slightly different paper that I would take to standard on member training from their viewpoint of member support, which is the support they need. And the code of conduct is particularly under their remit. But I think in terms of this committee, it's just to bring that information as an update to share what we've done and perhaps gather some more feedback on the training curriculum as we did this time-ish last year.
Well, I personally think that standards can be a bit of a toothless tiger. They have the power to deal with us if we've broken the rules or we've done something we shouldn't have done. But in terms of member training, standards committee have no right to demand that we do training, and they have no power to ensure that we do training. So they need to understand that and understand what their remit is as well.
Well, it's unsurprising that we disagree with you, Chair, because what standards can do is they can abolish it.
Yeah.
They went through the members training last time around, and we got down to 2 members, I think, who had nothing on the training. They also have an ability now to deal with leaders of the groups to ensure that we behave ourselves appropriately. So they're not quite toothless.
Well, he is a good.
It's legislation that members have to do a particular training session. Because if you're a governor, you have to do at least the 2 daily.
I think the code of conduct is advisable. It's not compulsory.
It's considered mandatory by the standards committee, and we will be taking that same update to them in April on, of the 51 members, how many completed, how many maybe absent at that point. Important to note, there will be a 3rd and final opportunity for code of conduct training towards the end of February, so a date will go in the diary, but that will be the last opportunity to complete that before the report goes to standards committee.
And then it would be on the leaders of the various groups to enforce that.
The group leaders will be reporting to standards committee in April. That will include members training.
I think I'm deemed to speak for the group leaders, but I'm sure they won't want to be told by standards committee that your members are not complying with a reasonable request.
It's a new thing, isn't it? So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. Right, we have a beer.
So we're training on there as well?
Training's on there as well, yeah.
So I feel that one thing which I'd like to bring up, which should be brought to my attention. I think contextual, just like to have something included in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.